Oh, that's so exciting. All right. And does it say we're going live? Oh my gosh, we are. Happy Wednesday, everybody. It's the last Wednesday of the 2025 seminar year. Can you believe it?
Wow.
It's insane. We blinked and it's here. We're our last 4 days. Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
I was going to say redonkulous, but it's all good. So, with that all being said, I want to know what wins can you guys claim for the last week or even 2 weeks? Because last week I was making sure we didn't have a tornado when I was in Defiance. So it was a decision.
Yeah.
Stay on and get whisked away. Or maybe don't get on and save my life. I mean, just it was fine. It was fine. We ended up being fine, but it was just that whole, oh, we might lose power. Oh, we might lose Wi-Fi. And I was like, yeah, I'm not a fan of those things. So,
middle of the storm, and that's when you would get cut off, and we'd be going,
oh,
"Where's
totally.
Danny?"
And my face would be like this. And it'd be frozen there. And you'd all be like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest picture ever that we'll use forever to roast our friend. So, yeah. So give me some wins, friends. What do you have to report? And it can be little wins, big wins. I don't care. Just something positive that's happened in the last couple of weeks in your Mary Kay world.
Oh, wow. What has happened? Just, well, I don't know. Just been calling people. I've been selling. I've been giving out my business cards more.
Good.
Been giving out my business cards more, and because now summer school started, so gave out some business cards already. I wore my Mary Kay shirt to work today. So
excellent.
Nice.
Yeah, whenever you can do that, it's a good thing.
Yes.
I love that. Being your own little brand ambassador, right?
That's right.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Terry, what about you, my friend? You got a haircut. It's super cute.
Oh, my hair's been short for a while.
When did I missed this?
Back in February.
Has it been that long since it's been down that I've seen it?
No. I just don't think you've fully functioned and saw it or anything. But yeah, back in February, I chopped it off.
You too could be a Mary Kay sales director.
There you go.
Right? It looks great. Oh my goodness. Give me some stuff.
Okay, so I guess my big win is keeping up with reading the book.
Good.
So that's been a big thing. And then my mom, my biggest Mary Kay person.
Oh, of course, yeah, she is. And she's wonderful.
So she told me that she was having issues with one of the products. She just doesn't like the feel of it. It's too heavy. Mm-hmm. So it was just trying to figure out if the next level would actually work better for her or not.
So. Oh, I love being able to do that. That's super cool.
Yeah.
It's like not like a needle in the haystack, but it's just when you've got somebody that's patient enough for you to help solve the problem with her, that's huge.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
And when she finally gives me that answer, then I'm putting my order in.
Oh, I like that too. So while we're talking about ordering, have we talked about how to do product replacement? Have we really hit that very much?
You talked me through it the one time.
Okay, good. Phyllis, you know how to do it, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's not that hard.
Good. I just think it's such a valuable tool. So I'm going to tell you a little story. It's time for story time. So I had a party, one of my first parties when I got to Ohio. The gal bought quite a bit. She bought 6 items, and it was a decent size order. I think it was over $200 that she spent. And a week went by. Yeah, it was a week. She called me to tell me she wanted to return 4 of the items.
Oh boy.
So and first of all, I want to tell you guys this because I think it's important that you all know that it happens to people. And it, because I used to think I was the only one that something like that it would happen to. And so I think it's important for you guys to go, okay, this is just part of the gig. Okay.
Yeah.
Normally when somebody wants to return something, we ask all the questions, tell me what's going on. Tell me, not like why, just tell me what's going on. This gal turns out she said she's allergic to an ingredient that was in 2 of the products. And the other 2 she had bought for her granddaughter. And I thought to myself, okay, I went over that part of our conversations in a party where if you have a sensitivity and there's an ingredient that you're concerned about, please let me know. We can look it up. And that way your face is happy. Like that's something that's commonplace in conversations that I have at appointments. Right. So I know I said it. She did not take me up on it. So there's that piece. So it's not like I'm blaming anybody because it just happens.
Right.
But and just so you know, most of the time, 99% of the time when I get a return, the customer says, just keep the credit rolling and I'll use it up on my next purchase. Mm-hmm. Okay. 99% of the time, that's what we do. Unless they want to do an exchange or different formula or whatever. In 18 years, I have only had someone ask to be credited on their credit card back 2 times. And the second time was this gal.
Oh.
So part of it was figuring out, okay, I gave her a special because it was four pockets worth of a roll up, right? So it was like $222. I took it down to $199. Well, she's only keeping 2 items. Well, she no longer gets the discount. So it was refiguring the math for her on that. And I mean, I came up with a number and it was fine. And here's the thing, like she lives in Ohio. I'm not home yet. So how does one handle that with a product replacement? So my first thing was, I just need you to pop open all of the boxes, take screenshots of the things, and I'll take care of it on my end. She was willing and did it. She just sent me back the box with the products unopened. Now, here's the tricky part. Technically, we're supposed to destroy those products.
Right.
When they're returned. Okay. Because you can't vouch for the purity of the product once it's been into somebody else's possession. Right. Mm-hmm. So there's a couple different ways you could do it. What I'm still going to do is product replacement on it. Right. Because I'm going to replace those 4 products, put them back on my shelf. If it's anything that I can use, I'll either use it as a demo or keep it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's just, you might as well. It's just good. If there's something funky with it, you throw it out. No big deal. Yeah. But I just thought, like, what a great, and it was really funny because then I told my hostess, because my hostess I've known since high school. And I said, hey, just so you know, so-and-so returned 4 of the things she bought. And it was just as an FYI. She goes, oh my gosh, I knew it. She goes, that woman returned everything she bought at a Pampered Chef party. And I said to her, well, quit inviting her to your damn parties. If she's got like a track record of returning products, why are you doing this to yourself?
Yeah.
But I think it's just a gal that wants to be a part of the fun and gets excited and then has buyer's remorse or something. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But I was like, holy cow. Because, we second guess. We're like, I thought I did a good job. I thought I opened it well. I thought I presented well. I thought I closed it pretty well. And it was so funny because I even said, I'm like, I thought I did a pretty good job. And my hostess was like, oh my gosh, you were amazing. Because she'd never seen me do a party. Mm-hmm. She'd been a customer for 20 years, never seen me do a party. Then when the gal called to find out basically, did I get the box back? And my first response to her was, I'll process your return once I have the product back. Mm-hmm. And I'm not back at home till July 4th.
Oh, wow.
Well, you need to be patient, because I'm not putting Jeff in charge of checking the products out. That's not his job.
No.
Mm-hmm. But he did tell me the box came. So once I knew the box was there, I went ahead and processed it. And when that time comes, it's really easy to do on ProPay, but you've got to make sure you've got a ProPay balance in there to do the return. Does that make sense? Because if you've gone ahead and taken your profit like you're supposed to out of your ProPay, well, then there might not be anything in ProPay, and you've got to make sure that you've accumulated enough sales to be able to do that. And the cool thing is when it comes time for reports at tax time, it shows you've done a return. Mm-hmm. You're not in any issues there. So basically, Storytime with Danny is there to tell you that, number one, It's great that we have our money back guarantee.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get upset when it happens because it's part of business. You know, think about realtors that like are trying to sell, you know, hundreds of $1,000s home, and then somebody changes their mind.
Mhm.
It's part of business.
Yeah.
So that's what we got to remember is, you know, it's nothing personal. It's like The Godfather. It's nothing personal. It's strictly business. And I'm not going to put a horse head in her bed, even though I might want to.
Danny.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not going to. This is why my YouTube page is unlisted.
That's a
Good
idea.
This should not be a training piece for Mary Kay.
It's okay. I think we all feel that though.
We all have felt that, and it's okay,
Yeah.
you know, and I did have some other great sales along the way, good parties and stuff. So it's just the one thing that happened. And so I think it's really important when we have enough appointments scheduled
Yeah.
on our books, when something like that happens, it's not debilitating or traumatic. It's just next. Okay.
Right.
And so I think for us, our goal needs to be to have enough activity happening
Yeah.
so that we can do the things. Now, did you guys see my pictures of those color, the color theory sample thingies that I'm going to be doing with you guys?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing to make sure you guys know is that if and when you're looking to set up your own stuff, you just want to, all you really need to worry about are those 4 lipstick colors, right?
Mhm.
The 4 lipstick colors that help determine. And here's the thing that's weird. I know it's nighttime over here, so the lighting is a little bit different, but I don't even have on like normal full face. But because I've got a lipstick color on that's in the right family, it kind of looks like everything's put together. Make sense?
Yes.
I don't have 3 or 4 color eyeshadows. It's one color of eyeshadow. There's no eyeliner and cheek color with no highlighting and no contouring. All in the family of what is supposed to be my family that I've been lied to all these years. But that's okay. That's okay. Boy, I feel a theme. Danny's a little salty today.
Where's the margarita?
Oh, I should have a margarita. That would be good. I did have nachos for dinner. Anyway, so Poppy Please, Hot Pink, Sunset Peach, and Trademark Pink are going to be the 4 colors that you have available in the samples or full size. And we are gifting some of those away here for people's June orders. But I'm a big fan of lipstick samples are cheap and you don't need to have all of them.
Right.
Necessarily. But those 4, they come in strips of 8.
Yeah.
So, you know, get one of each in your next order. Keep one of each for yourself if you don't have the full size for yourself in your arsenal, and test it out on yourself to figure out which one looks best.
Okay. Can you say those again, please?
Sure. Poppy Please.
Okay.
Hot, Haute, Pink.
Okay.
Sunset Peach.
Sunset Peach. Okay.
And Trademark Pink.
Okay. Got it.
And so in that order, it's going to look like this. What you'll do for a test is you're going to do either Poppy Please or Hot Pink. I want to say we did Poppy Please first. And then Sunset Peach was the second color. When you are doing just 2 colors,
Yeah.
that's going to narrow it down right away. Are they a bold or are they a pastel?
Okay.
Because Sunset Peach is considered an autumn.
Right. Yes.
And I looked like I had no lip on at all.
Oh, wow.
And that means it's not a color I normally gravitate towards anyway. Usually I go for some of the darker ones. But I've worn I've worn Poppy Please, I've worn Hot Pink. And so the thing is even if you are, let's say like I'm a winter, I can still do spring because those are bold colors.
Mm.
It doesn't mean I can't wear the other colors or that you can't wear the other colors. You're just going to find that if you look through your wardrobe already, you probably have colors that you feel like you look your best in. And it's probably because they're in those families.
Yeah.
Without even consciously knowing it or consciously knowing it, depending on if you've had any kind of, consultation or anything like that. Okay. The other thing that I think is really important when you do the appointment, if and when you do this kind of appointment, it's fast. They have naked face when they do it. So it's important if they show up with a face on, you don't turn it into a skincare class, but you've got cleanser and moisturizer ready to go. And it's just here, wash your face, take it off. Here, put the moisturizer on. Okay, going on. Don't train on it. Don't tell them about it, because that's a conversation starter for another day. And you don't want them to think that it's bait and switch and that you really are trying to sell them skincare when they're here for color theory, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So once you have the lipstick happen, then you go ahead and have them put foundation primer on. If you have more than CC creams to work with, give them the choice. Do you want CC cream or you want more full coverage? If you don't have more than CC cream, don't offer it. Just pick a CC cream and have them put it on. Okay.
Right.
Once they get that on, then you're going to put on under eye corrector and then translucent powder. And that's just for this appointment, because normally I don't do translucent powder until cheeks are done. But the reason why you want to put the translucent powder on first is, number one, it's going to seal up the under eye corrector, so it's going to look good.
Right.
The other piece is going to be that you are able to pick out a cheek color from that family, because the suggestion is you pick cheek colors because there's less of them than eye colors, right? Out of all those things that we've passed out that came from Erin Marlowe's Go Give graphics, have them pick one of the cheek colors, and then they can go ahead and put it on. Okay. And then if they accidentally put too much on because they're not usually a cheek person, they've got that translucent powder there as a base to kind of help blend it and matte it down. Cool.
Yeah.
And then you can go ahead and gravitate towards eye colors. My thought is, 2 or 3 eye colors. Don't give them like 17,000. Just have them pick 2 eye colors,
Yeah.
like a highlighter and a main. Okay. That way you're giving them a starting point. Or you can go ahead and pick, look at their eye color and pick a color look that's based on their eye color within the season that we picked. Because those are like do it yourself. I call it like Garanimals in our, color by number. Here it is. This is the great color look that'll look good on you. Then if they want to go ahead and expand and get a second look from colors that are offered, you're good to go. Now, if for any reason, you have eye colors that are about to be discontinued, keep the color sheet there, sell what you have.
Yeah.
Okay. There was a little bit of back and forth about this, not in a bad way. Directors were asking, hey, are you going to modify the closing or the eye sheets? And I said, no, what I'm going to do is, once I'm out of that color that is going to be discontinued, I'm just going to cross it out.
Mm.
And if it's not laminated, well, yeah, you can edit those sheets and you can just remove it, But my guess is, in normal Mary Kay fashion, when some colors get retired, they get replaced with new stuff. I don't know for sure, but I'm making an educated guess that if they're retiring a bunch of colors, they're going to replace them in September with new ones, and there'll probably be new sheets to come out. So there's no need to freak out about it. Just when they're gone, they're gone. If we still get them through CDS, great. But don't be like bending over backwards, making yourself crazy. Because there's no need. Because it's just, de-stress. It's just simplify, and we will simply fly. So I wanted to ask, well, first of all, what questions do you have for me on any of that crazy stuff I've just said so far? Nothing? You're good?
No, I don't have any. I'm good.
Does it all make sense?
Yeah.
What I want to challenge you guys to do, if you have samples yourself or full size, do a couple naked face, even if it's just your lips here.
Yeah.
In your Facebook customer group, or be real with them so they can. Both of your skin looks great, so you could go in and put it in, and you could maybe even You know, if you wanted to have your eyes on already, that's fine. But the idea would be if the color isn't the right color of lip for you, you're going to look puffy or sunken or dark circles. You're going to look not great.
Right.
If you go ahead and have the right color on, it's going to look just fine, which is kind of my reason for showing you minimal eye makeup today was that the lipstick is helping make the rest of it look right.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
And that way we're not having to make ourselves super crazy. And with it being summer like this, my friend Robin, who I'm staying with, she was like, well, it's summer. You don't have to wear a lot of makeup. And I'm like, duh. And so, you know, because normally I've got it all on. And I think we have to be able to show that there's a variety of ways we can wear the product.
Yeah.
So we're going to be experimenting. Tee hee hee. Ah, very good. Very good. So now I want to talk about the Mary Kay autobiography. Give me some thoughts. And tell me about chapter 4. And we'll talk about chapter 5 too, but I want to see thoughts on chapter 4. Give me some ideas, some thoughts.
I didn't get done with chapter 4.
I still love you. It's okay.
Summer school starts and it's like, okay. Let me look to glance real quick.
That's what I'm having to do.
Okay, well, let me give you a little bit and then we can kind of expand upon it. How's that?
Okay, sounds
I'll
good.
let you off the hook a little bit.
Thank you.
Okay, because I love you guys. Okay, so in chapter 4, it was all about building a leadership-rich legacy. Okay?
Right.
She's not building a business. She's shaping leaders.
Yes.
So the mentorship, the education programs, the heart, that's the culture that she created to ensure that Mary Kay Cosmetics is a launch pad for countless women.
Right.
Okay. It's the real miracle that she sought to have them multiply and divide and build and build and build. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you think about it, you have Gloria Mayfield Banks is one of the best,
Yes.
that you can think of. And there's a training that she did last week that I'm going to send you guys that I'm not supposed to send, but I'm going to send it to you.
We won't tell.
Yeah. That's why we're on an unlisted YouTube. Because I want you guys to hear her. It's about an hour long, so you've got to have time. And you want to be in a spot where you can take notes because holy man, she talks fast and you can pause.
Yeah.
But it was so good. I listened to it twice and was like, oh, so good. It like just propels you into thinking ahead for July while you're still finishing June. Okay.
Yeah.
But just it's about, relying on the support culture that we have here, reminding you guys that you're in business for yourself, but you're not by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only gig that I can think of. I always tease people that, teaching was like withholding a secret ingredient. Like as my colleagues in teaching, we all wanted each other to be good. But we didn't always necessarily want to give them all the information because then they might be able to be better than us, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Although I was like an open book and went, here, this is what I do, blah, But not everybody's like that, and it's okay. It really is okay. But in Mary Kay, seriously, what happens if Terry makes, $40,000 in sales next year?
Yay, we all support her. We're excited for her.
Yeah, it means Terry's in the Queen's Court of Personal Sales.
Right.
She's going to get a rock and diamond ring. She's going to have money in her pocket, money in the bank, and she will have a whole bunch of customers that love her.
Right.
And probably some team members along the way too, yeah?
Yes.
Lovely.
Yeah. And Phyllis, what happens if you get in the Queen's Court of Personal Sales?
Yay,
Same thing.
Right. So it's like that, having a running buddy,
Right.
having that piece and not having a power enabler. We want a power partner.
Right.
Because power enabling is a very easy thing to fall into. For example, if I'm having a running buddy and we've said, okay, we're going to make 10 phone calls today, and I've made 3 and she's made 4, and we still have 3 hours of people time left, power enabling would be like, oh, it's okay. I know you got to get dinner put together and you got to finish, you got to tuck in the kids and da 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 da, right?
Yep.
That's letting her off the hook.
Yeah.
Which then in turn is letting you off the hook, getting your stuff done because she didn't do it, which means you don't have to do it.
Right.
Okay. And how many times have we found ourselves or other people, we've seen it happen or experienced it ourselves? A power partner is somebody that, like my friend Stephanie DeMar in Defiance, she said, what are we going to do today to be fabulous? And I said, I'm going to get an email out or a text message out to all of my customers so that they know I'm trying to finish up quarter sales and it's all hands on deck. I love you. Buy product, and then it's the follow-up process with it. But the other part was Diana Sumter asked me to come up with a couple follow-up scripts for people that if they've registered on your website, but they haven't bought anything yet.
Oh,
so I have some of those to share with you.
Great.
Because I was like, because she asked me, she goes, do you have anything like that? Because I had done a training for her national area on Monday, which was super awesome. And it was a huge honor. And she loved all of that Shop My Party stuff that we compiled. And so I came up with a script. And you guys, it's super, super simple. I want to make sure I read it to you real quick here. So this is if they've registered, but they haven't purchased anything. Hi, Terry, it's Danny with Mary Kay. Thanks for registering on my site. I saw you haven't finished your purchase. Do you need help deciding or have any questions? No pressure, just here if you need me. Boom. Okay. Then if it's because you've got a party going on for someone and they're a guest that are shopping for a particular party, you're just, hi, Terry, it's Danny with Mary Kay. Just a quick reminder, the party's closing soon. If there's anything you've had your eye on, now's the time. Now's the perfect time to grab it. Let me know if you need help picking the best products. Okay. The final day, hi, Terry, it's Danny. The party wraps up tonight. So this is your last chance to order and be a part of the fun. Let me know if you need anything or want any quick recommendations. Happy to help. Boom, done.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if somebody shops, makes a purchase through Shop My Party and you haven't met her because she's one of your silent hostesses people, then it's, hi, Phyllis, it's Danny with Mary Kay. Thanks so much for supporting your friends Shop My Party. I really appreciate it. As your consultant, words are hard. I love offering quick personalized check-ins, whether it's skincare concerns or finding your perfect shade with Color Theory. Want to chat for a few minutes? Everything I do is totally customized for you. And then it starts the conversation. And at that point, anything that happens after that is just your normal follow-up that you would do when you're talking to a customer. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay. And it didn't take long to come up with those. And I'm a big fan of, just get the text simple, make it short, make it perky if you can, which we are. And just that way you can track it.
Right.
Okay. I think I've also shared with you guys my Google Doc that the silent hostess can send out to the people that she's invited. That's super easy peasy too. That one, it doesn't matter if they send it back. If they do, it's great because then you know who she belongs to.
Right.
If they don't complete it and they just shop, it shows up in the right spot for the party, but it just gives you some more things to ask her. Right. So that's that. Okay. So now when we talk about chapter 5, this is about praising people to success.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So like in teaching, I remember I would get a compliment and then be told everything I do wrong.
Yeah.
Or I need to do better. Or I haven't done it all. Or,
Right.
awesome things like that. And one of the things that Mary Kay was always famous for was setting up the next win before you actually gotten the one you're working towards, so that you don't rest on your laurels, but praising people to success.
Yes.
And recognizing your strengths, because those are what you're going to get praised for, right? Not dwelling on the stuff that might need improvement, because everybody's different. Everybody's got their own stuff. There's no perfect person, right? And I love the fact that she was very much about having just, I mean, it's called crowing, which is work spelled backwards, where every week we're supposed to have everybody have a chance to crow. Okay. And like when we were in person, it would be if you did your weekly challenge, or if you sold $300, you know, whatever the thing is to get you to come up to the front, introduce yourself, tell us who you are and what was the best part about your week, which I think is so important that we be able to share what the best part about our Mary Kay week was. Because everybody, you know, Mary Kay also used to say, when you have a great week, people need to hear that you had a great week.
Yes. Yeah.
And when you had a crummy week, you need to hear that other people are having a good week so that you remember it can be done.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. It's not to commiserate, because sometimes that's happened where everybody maybe had a poopy week and all of a sudden you hear undercurrent going before the meeting starts. And you're like, oh my goodness, we have to find the positive in here, girls, because we're the only Mary Kay that people are ever going to meet.
Right.
And you got to remember that. It doesn't mean we can't have a bad minute. It doesn't mean we can't, you know, yell a bad word every now and then. But it does mean that we've got to make sure that we are uplifting people through consistent praise that's genuine. So, you know, not backhanded, not, you know, waiting for the other shoe to drop where you get told something that's stinky, but genuine praise. Okay. And that's your big piece. Along with how Mary Kay always had God first, family second, and career third as her priorities.
Right.
That was the other big piece of chapter 5. The end. Okay, so what I wanted to show you, because we're going to talk about goal setting, because I want you to be thinking of, yes, the new seminar year starts Monday, right? No. Tuesday. Thank you. Words are hard. I have the calendar and everything. And it's right in front of me. And there it is. Hi. Tuesday is the start of the new year, but we still have a year left. And I think we've talked about this, I at least at some point along the way. There are some consultants that are very much looking forward to Tuesday because they've already decided that there's nothing more they're going to do for this seminar year. Let's go on.
Right.
My thing is, you always want to find some form of a win when you wrap up a seminar year, even if it's not exactly how you thought it was going to go. Okay. Let's say, for example, your goal was to be done with Princess Court sales. If that's not looking like it's mathematically going to come together, where can you get a win? Can you have your unit club, or not your unit club, your unit Court sales, which is 10,000 retail, 5,000 wholesale? Is it I sold the most I've ever sold to people in a week? Is it what's the best, the beat your best? Did I do more faces this week than I ever did? Did I do more faces in June than I've ever done? Or did I sell more in June than I've ever sold? That kind of thing. Where can you on Monday night / Tuesday morning be able to say, here was my June win? And I want everybody to have one. Okay. Now, some people, their June win might be, well, I'm still here. And that's cool, but I want there to be something a little bit more substantial than that. Okay. Because for some, that's what it's going to be. And it's going to feel like that. But I think it's so important to be able to look back, reflect, and find the win.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that's going to give you some good time positivity that's going to propel you into July. And so one of the things that I wanted to make sure I showed you guys, because it is something that I used to do. And Phyllis, this was even pre-you.
Yeah, I saw that.
I used to have a giant calendar like teachers have in their classroom with like the month on it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I had it on an easel at our old training center. And I had Post-its, I had overhead markers, I had normal pens, whatever. And everybody, what they were supposed to do was that when they had a booking, and it doesn't matter what kind of booking it is, some form of an IPA, they're going to write it down. So like, Terry's got a facial Friday. Awesome. Phyllis has a dream session with a coworker Saturday. Doesn't matter when it is, where it is, just, and if it's in person, cool. If it's virtual, maybe put a V next to it or something so we know it's virtual, so we can, cheer for you, pray for you, pop in and say hi for you, whatever you want us to do. But the idea would be like, if I've got a glass skin experience on Sunday the 6th, which I do, if somebody wanted to come and watch it, they could, or be my assistant, they could. And that was something that I had for my consultants to be able to do was, they'd see where my parties were and they'd come. And they'd show up at the same time I showed up so that we could set stuff up together. And their job is to be Vanna and a little ninja. And watch, because they'll see all the things that we talk about that can happen in a party. And they'll see that it's real, But the idea is that we're going to put this up every single month and we're going to pin it to the top of the Facebook group, and everybody's going to be able, zap me and say, so then Terry, if you're the first one that sends me, hey, I've got a booking, what color do you want to be? And you're going to be that color forever. And that's going to go in your spots. And then Phyllis, same thing. If you're first, you pick your color, and right now I picked red, so you can have red.
Can I pick a color now?
Yeah, you can pick a color now. What do you want to pick?
I want purple.
You have purple. I guessed that. Phyllis, what do you want?
Oh, gosh.
You can think about it.
Green.
Okay. Green means money. I like it.
I was
Green.
gonna say green means money.
Yeah, green means money. Okay, so that's what I want, start thinking, like, as soon as you get stuff booked, and you might even sit there and think, oh gosh, it's just 15 minutes on a FaceTime. I don't care. Send it to me so we can put it up there, because what's going to happen is it's going to create some FOMO.
Mm-hmm.
And people are going to see, well, Terry's got a booking there. Oh, Phyllis has got a booking there. Danny's got a booking there. Then all of a sudden, Jane and Susie and all these other people that we don't have in our units yet are going to see it and go, oh, I want to do that too. And it really happened, you guys. We finished a car that way, just by putting parties on a calendar.
Nice.
And consultants finished their stars because they were holding appointments, they were selling product, they were hitting their weekly sales goals. Shut up. So we're going to be doing all kinds of crazy things. So what I also wanted to do was find out from you guys, what are Mondays like for you as opposed to a Wednesday?
The same right now.
Okay. Terry, I know you've got a potential thing to work through.
Nope, we did work through it. So we moved our date night to Sundays.
Oh, that makes my heart so happy. Okay. So what's going to happen is we will not have a meeting next week
Okay.
because I will be driving.
You're right.
What?
And I know, right? So rude. Yeah, and that's going to be the long one because it's from Martin, Tennessee to Amarillo. So that's not the fun day.
Ooh, that's a long one. Yeah.
That's the long, gross one. So we're going to do that day. And what we will do is we're going to start doing Mondays,
Okay.
which I think is a kind of a fun way to start the week, especially when you go to
Taking
your,
that out of the book.
huh?
Are you taking that out of the book?
No, but it's so funny.
It's in chapter 5.
It is.
Yeah, oh, yes, that's right. I remember
It
that.
is, isn't it? But what's so funny is when I first became a consultant, meetings were on Mondays.
Mm-hmm.
And then they became Tuesdays. And then I couldn't do Tuesdays because I was busy with marching band and rehearsals and things. So I never did Tuesdays anymore. Then when Linda and Rebecca, they had been chatting. I'm going to cough and do an inhaler puff. Don't be alarmed. Okay, now I'm back. So when they were talking, because I couldn't come, I was coming all summer long, and the school started and I couldn't come.
Right.
And I got the phone call from Linda. This was like, oh gosh, it was like middle of October. And she said, hey, I was talking with Rebecca. And keep in mind, Linda lived in Cedar City, Utah at the time. So she wasn't coming down every week. Rebecca was the one holding meetings. And she said, I need to know which day of the week stinks the least. Because I know all of them are bad. And I know Tuesday's a complete no-go, but I need you to tell me what day of the week sucks the least. So I looked at it and I went, Thursdays, but there's 3 Thursdays I can't be there because I've already got concerts scheduled. And she goes, but they're not all at once, right? And I was like, no, there's like there's a musical, there's a concert at UNLV, and there's like a band concert. And she goes, okay. She goes, let me call you back. So she calls back and she says, we're moving to Thursdays next week. Make sure you've got a guest. You guys, I was a senior consultant and they completely moved everything so that I could be there. Bizarre. I was like, why in the world would you do this?
Right.
And I kept on Thursdays all through DIQ, all through my first year of directorship and through, I think, my second year of directorship. And then we shifted and have bounced between Wednesdays and Mondays, depending on the year. Mondays, Mary Kay really liked because it gave you the whole week to get excited and get work done.
Yes.
And to stay excited. Because a lot of times what would happen is if we have a meeting like right now, you're super excited, but then it's already Thursday and Friday, and then you don't see your people again. You know, it's like all of a sudden it's like, yeah, it's the middle of the week, and yes, you can get stuff done, but maybe it's just goofy.
Right.
So we're going to go back to Mondays, and there might be some weeks that we power up with my friend Karen Johnson out of Menifee, California, and my friend Stephanie DeMar in Ohio.
Right.
To just kind of be, we're going to have, some silliness and some little competitions and things that we're going to do, but I'm kind of jazzed about it. And I think it's going to really be a good way to start the new year off right. So we will be doing that, on the 7th. Oh my God. Thank you.
I had to look at it because I was like, okay, what day are we doing it?
Yeah, it'll be the 7th. So I'm super pumped about it. And I know that we've still got, as Rebecca Evans would say, we don't have a lot of time, but we have enough time. Mm-hmm. So if there's anything that you're looking at to do, what's your goal in these last 4 days, let me know how I can help you, because even though I'm not home, I don't hit the road again till the 1st on purpose. I mean, there's a little bit of traveling I'm doing back and forth, but it's nothing like a 13-hour road trip is what I'm getting at. Okay. So if there's any dream sessions you need me to help with, if there's anything you need, if there's anything locally that you need, I know that Trish is able to help and she's happy to. So make sure that she's available for you guys to reach out for as well.
Okay.
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 Any big burning questions for me? Or are you good?
I'm good.
I was going to say, I have one for you.
I'm ready.
Not last week. The week before, we talked about doing like the demo bag concept, right?
Yes.
Okay, so here's my only question I have, because you kind of brought it up while you were talking about if you ever had to do like a product return or concept wise.
Right.
So how is that not the same? Because you're giving it to people for a week to test out. Mm-hmm. So I just figured I'd ask.
Well, one, it's a borrow my bag kind of idea. Mm-hmm. If they opt to not buy the products, mm-hmm. it would be exactly the same. You would do a product replacement.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Unless you were like, okay, well, you know what? I use that cleanser. I'll go ahead and keep that cleanser.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then it becomes a write-off in the terms of demo or personal use. But that's exactly what it would be. Now there's some people that'll send out like a demo bag, like on the borrow my bag, and they use that. And then there is no write-off because they'll tell you what they want. And then you go ahead and give it, place the order that way. So if you wanted to do it that way, then you're just passing around your demo bag for the borrow my bag.
Okay.
Either way would work.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a great question. I love that question. Cool. All right, my girls, make every hour count, make every minute count. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow.
You are
Have a
on
$1
a roll.
million week, you guys.
Thanks,
You too.
Danny.
Bye,
I will
Danny.
talk to you soon.
Bye, Phyllis.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.